All right, well, welcome back to Hard Has No Limits podcast. Got a good friend of mine, Brayden Merritt, baseball player turned agent,
Yep.
VP, working away.
We'll keep it there. We'll keep it there.
He's doing a lot of good things. Appreciate you jumping on the
Of course,
pod, bro.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Tell me a little bit about your life, just where you grew up. Was your dreams and aspirations to be a big leaguer? Was it to go into agency? Just tell me a little bit about the come up.
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, I'm from Dallas. I've lived out in Arizona, since I was 11. I still claim like I'm from Texas, but I've lived my majority of my life out here. But I mean, yeah, I think everything, when I started playing baseball at like 5, 6, like you did, I think being a big leaguer was the number one goal. But I mean, eventually, you know, how the career plays out and everything like that, and got to the point where I was out at Grand Canyon. I started out at New Mexico, played 2 years there, great time there. Played every day, came out to Grand Canyon. Actually, after kind of an unfortunate event, came out to Grand Canyon, walked on, played here. My junior year was COVID, so everything got shut down about 2 weeks in,
Terrible.
Of course. And then senior year, finished up 2021, and just been around a bunch of athletes. I mean, guys like yourself and all the guys that we hang out with, and knew I kind of want to be in that business. Didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then kind of just got into the sports marketing thing. Was pre-law. Was going to go to law school, and then got hired to become an agent. And
Law school, huh?
yeah, I mean, thank God I didn't do it, to be honest.
Whole lot of reading, bro.
Yeah, and I thought you had to be a lawyer to be an agent. And then I found out you didn't for baseball. All other sports you have to, but for baseball you don't. And I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get into business.
Right. I don't need to do all this
I'd rather
school.
not waste 3 years. I mean, it's not a waste.
Yeah,
but you know
but that's
what I mean.
a lot. Yeah, a lot of work. XTT.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of reading, a lot of hours.
Do you feel like you've kind of caught your stride right now with like where you are? Because I remember we met in 21 for sure, but maybe over COVID.
Yeah, I think it was around
free
COVID.
time.
I think it was around COVID. We'd been around the same group, and then kind of just.
Because I remember, we were talking and stuff, and you knew, baseball was coming to an end for you. You didn't know what you wanted to do, and then right when you stopped, what did you start doing?
I was working with a marketing company, sports marketing company that represented all athletes. It's called the Society. A guy out here named Alex Guerrero worked with guys with the Cowboys and a bunch of basketball players and stuff like that, and Archie Bradley, who actually our agency represented from the contract side of things.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So it was kind of a weird synergy that I didn't even know about until I.
So you're going in for, was it marketing? Was it sports marketing?
It was sports marketing.
It was sports marketing?
Yeah, because I knew I wanted to be, if I learned the marketing side of things, I knew it could help me out on the agent side. So.
Okay, so you went into that knowing this could help me out for what I want to do next. It wasn't like, okay, this is what I'm going to stay in. Or
no, I knew I wanted to be on the contract side and be certified and all that stuff. I just, at the time, it wasn't the right time with the guys that I got with. And so I was like, you know what, I might as well learn the marketing side of things so it kind of adds a little bit of value. Right. Which, I mean, because, as today, that marketing side and the social media is everything with sports. All these companies that we deal with, whether it's Nike, whether it's Franklin Sports, whether it's Wilson, they all would rather have the person that shows love on social media than...
You're one post away from freaking...
Right.
It's crazy that you're literally that close. I think we were having dinner last night. We were talking about Doge and Elon, and the dude saying, hey, why don't y'all send us some of the money back? And he's like, let me talk to the big man or whatever. Right. And it's like, this is a totally new world. Yeah. Like, you are legit one tweet, text, or anything, or social post away from reaching maybe the top person.
Or ruining your life, right? I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Or ruining your life,
yeah. No, that's a good way to look at it.
For athletes, it's a great thing. It's a great thing to use your platform, but also on the back end, it's like now everything's out there. And it's tough for some of these guys. I never got to that level where it could affect me, but some of those guys can get to it. It's like I can't escape anything, which sucks. Yeah. I'm sure you're going to learn that talking to a bunch of guys, and you probably went through it with yourself, but yeah.
So I want to jump back, if you want to get into it. You said an unfortunate event before you had to transfer over.
Yeah, one of my close teammates, it was a freak accident where everybody hung out. I mean, you know how it was when you're in college. get a big Friday night win, go have a couple of adult beverages with your boys, and then get some good food. And where we were all hanging out, one of my boys actually, wrong place, wrong time, just got shot and killed. And it was like, I'd never been, as you get older, people pass, but I mean, you're thinking of that like when you're 50, 60, 70, right?
Yeah.
That was the first time I kind of gone through something with like a friend dying, and it was I didn't realize at the time how much it affected me. I was at the and I was kind of a captain. It was my sophomore year. I was kind of a captain of the team, and kind of was placed at the front to talk about it and make statements for the team. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So once that happened, I. Nothing against Albuquerque. I think the scenery is beautiful there, but the city, unfortunately, is just a shitty place.
Yeah.
And so I need to get out of there. And Grand Canyon actually recruited me when I was in high school. My parents live out here, and I was like, I'm just going to go back to Arizona and be around all my boys and get back into it.
So tell me a little bit on the mental side of that, of losing a friend. I lost a friend that got on my arm here, Damian Rouse. Dude was my brother. Took me under his wing in high school. Like, I was a smaller kid, watched my back all the time. Like, I mean, we were as tight as it can be. And unfortunately, obviously, same thing. He had got shot. And it took me about a week to realize, okay, no, he is gone. But I think it was the month up to like a year up to his birthday.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, I'm really never going to talk to him again. And you go through like those little stages of like, oh, I'm good, and then boom, it hits you. What was that like for you? Was it, I know you said it took you a little while, but how do you go back on the field and know that guy's not there because he got traded or he transferred? He's not there because he's not here.
Yeah.
Like, is that tough getting back on the field with that?
Yeah, I mean, to this day, it still affects me. I mean, so Jackson was his name. Lost Jackson, and then the one that I actually, a year and a half later, about a year and a half, 2 years, I'd lost probably one of my best friends from college, and like a freak carbon monoxide filled lungs from a boat, slipped off a boat, passed away. Like, that's when we were close. I remember I was going through that with you, and to this day, I mean, it's still in the back of my mind,
You see a boat kind of correlates to that.
Yeah, I mean. And like one of my best friends from college was out in town last week, and we all had dinner, and it kind of just brought back like all that, and you're like, damn.
Things.
But I mean, I think it's going back to the field. It's kind of a two-way street. I feel like when I was playing, like after that, I realized, all right, my 0 for 3 is not. My 0 for 3 is not that important.
Right.
Right. But also, it kind of made me really not care as much, which. Yeah. Probably negative affected me. But I mean, I was going back to the field, and if I had a bad day, I was like, well, I mean, at least I got 2 feet on the ground.
Right.
And so that perspective kind of changed, which I'm obviously blessed it happened in an unfortunate event. But yeah, man, to this day, I mean, it definitely is in the back of my mind. I still got Jackson's like patch in my truck, and so like I'm pissed off if a driver cuts me off, and I like peek to my right. I kind of just chuckle now. It's kind of like, dude, it's not that big of a deal.
Pump the brakes, yeah.
So I think that's probably been the biggest mental side of it, was just realizing like, hey man, it's whatever you're going through, it ain't that bad.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about done baseball and then going into the marketing. What was that kind of switch up? Routine-wise, was it different? Was it you don't know where to put your energy yet? Were you not enjoying it at first? And, maybe I should go try and play ball. What was it?
Yeah, I think it was probably a combination of all of that. I mean, I feel like what a lot of people don't know about the agent game, it's like kind of the Wild West. I mean, don't know really. It's all about who you know, to be honest. And that's the group that I got with. I was super close with, Cole and Jay. And but when I got done playing, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be around athletes still, just because I mean those were all my best friends.
Right.
And even when I was training, like when COVID hit, I was training with some Cubs guys. Met Brennan Davis, became close with him, and that's how I met like Cole and Jensen and all those guys, which eventually kind of led me to where I'm at now.
Right.
And so,
crazy.
When I got done playing, when I got done playing, I wanted to get with the agency. Like I wanted to get right away, but it just wasn't the right time. So I knew kind of, all right, well, I have this opportunity with the sports marketing agency. If I can kind of learn that business and kind of use it to my advantage, kind of build a resume a little bit so that when an agency does come calling, the agency that I want to be with that I'm with now, I can say, hey, I've learned this kind of stuff and put it towards that. So at first I had no idea what I wanted to do. Once I got done playing, I played from 5 years old to, 23?
Right.
I mean,
you're
that's
waking
a long
up every
time.
day. You know what you're doing. I know what this weekend's about. Oh, I'm in the off season. That's one of the things I've noticed is I started struggling was like, I don't have anywhere to put my energy.
Yeah.
And like, my dad said it best. He's like, I was freaking out and all this stuff. And I'm like, I just feel like I need to be doing something. As soon as I retired, I was 29. I'm like, I need to be doing something. Like, I need to be moving forward and stuff like that. What's up, honey?
Yeah, what's up, honey?
And he calmed me down a lot because he was like, bro, listen, I know you want to do this and that. Let's figure out what you want to do in life. He's like, you're not even a month out of ball. He's like, but you've got to look at it in this lens. You've known what you've wanted to do since you were 4 years old. You've had something you've worked on your entire life. This is the first time you're waking up and you're not having anything to work on, especially the thing you've been working on your whole life. He's like, you're in a spot where all of your friends were right after college.
Yeah.
They're just supposed to be in that spot because they're right out of college and they're all doing it together. He's like, bro, some of your friends took them 6 months, a year. Some of them still don't know what the hell they're doing. He's like, so understand that this is, and I call it the season that you're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Start searching for what's new. See what is a possibility. Like you wanted to go with the agency right off the bat. It wasn't the right time, and a year later, boom.
I feel like I learned too, like all the people that I met in baseball, all the buddies that I made, like coaches, people that I made, like playing against, like there's a lot of connections there that I could have used too, right? I mean, I could have got into anything, to be honest. And I mean, as you know too, like a lot of companies like working with athletes. So
competitive side,
I think that just panic of, like you said, doing the same thing since you were 4 or 5 years old. And then you get done, you're like, what the hell am I going to do? I mean, the first thing that I realized that I didn't know what I was going to do was like trying to go work out on my own. Dude, that was the toughest thing. I mean, I was like, I went to the gym and I was like, nobody's telling me what to do.
Right, and I don't have to be here.
Yeah, I'll go to the bar with my boys. Like,
I don't need this gym.
Right,
That's
exactly.
Hit legs? No, thank you.
So I mean, that's why to this day, I mean, I go somewhere where they like tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Because I think that was
so that's something
ingrained.
you learned though, that you're like, look, I need somebody to tell me, hey, put me through a little program, let me run through it.
If I worked out on my own, I'd never get it done.
See, that was my problem. Not my problem. I figured out within 2 weeks of retiring. As soon as I retired, it took me 2 weeks to realize I'm gonna have to work out 5 days a week. Just for my mental sanity. Yeah. I liked that I didn't have to go in there on the days that I wasn't really feeling it. I would still go, but I didn't have to kill myself now. It doesn't matter if I put on that 2 or 3 pounds or whatever, or have that extra strength. Just kind of figuring out that that new stride. I guess that's that new routine. I think we're so routine oriented, dude.
100%.
So 100%. Let's talk about with agency and stuff now. You're dealing with a ton of athletes that were where you were.
Right.
A
little bit higher than where I was, but yeah.
A little bit, you understand the game, you understand what it takes to get there and all that stuff. How is it dealing with their side of the mental game? Because you've kind of been through it. You've got obviously a bunch of friends that have been out there. You've talked shop with them, and you've picked their brain. You've had your own experiences, which is the biggest thing. How do you handle that? Like, you've got to be their agent, but also you want to be their boy too. That they got their back. So
I look at it. I mean, so the agency that I work with, BBI Sports Group, the guy who hired me, Jay Franklin out of Tulsa, we had kind of talked before I got hired, and he's been doing this for 25 years. And like we kind of talked about, like he's all, like the agency that we have is smaller. It's a tight knit family group, and you're gonna hear that from every agent. But I mean, like truly, like the guys that we hang around are some of my best friends, and I think that's advantageous to like to who I want to be in the agent world is I want
Right.
to know the guy that I'm representing.
You want the person, yeah.
And so it's tough, you know, like you got to have some honest conversations with your friends that are like, why is this not happening? Why is this going this way? It's like, well, I mean, you know, this is what you've done in your
This is the real picture.
last 2 weeks, you know, and you got to be real with yourself. But I look at it as like an advantage of when I'm, you know, talking to the guys. I know what they're going through on a personal side.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know what they're going through on it. Statistically, you can see what they're going through on a baseball side, right?
Right.
But when you know them to who they are and to the person, what family they come from, you know who they are personally, and that helps out, you know, and bridge that gap.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a long-winded answer, but I think that like the guys that we represent, we know wholeheartedly. We know their family. We know where they came from. We know what they deal with, whether their wife's pregnant or they're going through something that's like way more important than baseball.
Right.
And so you kind of just deal with it that way and kind of tackle it like that.
Yeah, I mean, that seems, from just looking at agencies and stuff, that's what you want.
It's tough too. It's tough.
Oh, I
it's
can
tough
imagine,
because, you know, you got a guy worrying about his pregnant wife who's due on Wednesday, but he's got to go, you know, throw for 5 innings and,
Right.
and not give up any runs. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, I played collegiate, but those guys that do it at the higher level, I mean, they're just a different breed, obviously.
Yeah, we just had Jake Furley on the podcast, and we're getting into a little bit of that, and he was talking about stuff you don't really think of as a fan of the game. His daughter ended up getting diagnosed with leukemia.
Yeah.
She's in remission. She's doing great and stuff now. But, like, most people think you're just like, it's like the computer shuts off and it turns back on, and then the guys run out on the field and the game's over and then it's off. And it's like they just go and have this grand time. But they're doing all the rehab. They got to eat right. They've got to go get the workout in after. Like, all these things that it just, y'all get to the person. I don't want to just know what's on the field. I want to know what's off the field. Where can I help here?
Right.
It seems like it's more of a family-oriented type thing. Like, I care about you outside of baseball.
Oh, and like you said, for your boy, that his daughter, like going through that, you know, and then he goes 0 for 3, and then he's got Joe Blow on Twitter, or X now, right?
Yeah.
You know, saying this guy sucks. He should never be on the baseball field again. And it's like, well, you don't know what he's going through at home.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like a cool aspect where I get to kind of know that. One thing they say is like, don't go on Twitter or don't go on X or Instagram or anything and type your client's name in and look what they say. I love it. I like it when they're doing well, and to be honest, I kind of chuckle at it if they're not doing well, because it's like, these people don't get it at all.
Idea.
You know?
Yeah.
No idea.
What is there one thing when you got into the agency that was like, that comes to your mind, that was one of the tougher things you had to overcome? Like, if there was just something you didn't have to do, or you didn't like doing, or you weren't good at, was there anything in that business? Because obviously you're a very social guy, you handle relationships well. That's, you know, pretty much half the business itself. Was it having those tough phone calls? Was it, you know, the traveling everywhere? Because I know you freaking your locations everywhere across the United States.
I like to travel. I mean, I'm fortunate right now. We're not married. I don't have kids, so I'm able to do that. And man, the toughest thing, I'd say you're just always on, right? Even when you're like, it's a draining moment. Like, you know, I took a call for one of our clients on Thanksgiving Day. On Christmas Eve, I had to help somebody out doing something, and like, I get satisfaction out of that, so it doesn't really bother me.
Right.
But you're on like 24/7.
There's a time. I mean, you're human.
Yeah.
There's a times you see it and you're like, I'm mentally done, but you have to be there for them.
Right.
It's part of the job.
And to me, I like, you may get frustrated in the moment when you're getting the call, but also you look at it like, this person trusts me enough to help them out. So answer the damn phone and figure it out. It may take 5-10 minutes. It may take 4 hours, but you don't know what that person's going through, and they got families of their own and things to deal with. So, I wouldn't even say that's the toughest thing, but you're just always on. Yeah, it's one of those things that I learned. You know, it's not a 9 to 5. It's not a Monday through Friday. It's a 365-day thing.
Yeah.
Which gets its perks. I get to play golf and stuff like that when other people are working.
Are you getting better at golf, or?
I don't know.
What's you shooting? We don't need to talk about it?
85-ish.
Oh, okay. I just broke 100, so you look like Tiger to me.
I broke 80 for the first time with my dad. Okay. None of my boys believe it, but
No, yeah.
None of my boys believe it, but it's the truth. My dad was there. I would never
Bro, I
lie.
have the best days when nobody's out there.
That is true. That is true. Honestly, that is true. It is true.
Oh, shit. Well, one more question for you. There's one thing that you've learned up to this point that you could go back and tell 17, 18-year-old Brayden. What would it be? Is it not being scared to fail? Is it just go get yourself thrown in the fire? Is it your mindset? Because the way I'm hearing you talk, we call it in our curriculum reframing. You're just reframing a bad situation and turning it good. You're looking at the positive and not being like, oh, negative or positive type thing. It's, okay, this is a situation. I can't control this.
Yeah.
What is God or whoever you believe in trying to teach me out of this lesson? What can I grab from this to not make it just a bad moment for me? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I mean, 17, 18-year-old me, I feel like with any 17, 18-year-old, maybe everybody, it's like a lot of pride, right?
Yeah.
And so in those moments where I did fail, I was just thinking about, what I was doing wrong or why I went 0 for 4, or why I punched out 2 times, why
Right, dwelling on a situation.
Right, why I had an error, stuff like that. So I think, my dad always taught me, like, you remember a face, you remember a name. That's one thing that you can do from a conversation. Mm-hmm. Just remember the face and the name. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me is, like, when I was 17, 18, I was just kind of going around, and I think I think not, worrying too much about how I failed and, like, focusing on the people around me.
Right.
Probably be the better thing to do. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've always been good at making relationships and maintaining them. But
yeah, it's when you start getting older, I think you start looking at all that a little bit deeper, obviously, because the groups get smaller and stuff. You want to be around the right people, but yeah, I mean,
one thing I wish I could take from when I was 17, 18, is being better about, like, checking in on, like, my boys and talking to them. Because when you were 17, 18, you didn't have jobs, you didn't have anything to worry about.
Right.
And you're, like, with your friends and doing all that. And nowadays, like, I feel like sometimes I get so busy that maybe I forgot to call back my friend. Maybe I forgot to do that. And I think that's like something, communication, I feel like I'm really good communicating with my job, with my clients, with my girlfriend, because I have to, right? If I didn't, probably wouldn't have her.
I'll walk down that road.
But, like, communicating with my boys that don't live in the state or don't live around me, I feel like that's one thing that I wish I could take from 17, 18 to be better at now.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, Dad said it right. He's like, dude, every year it gets a little faster and a little faster. And I mean, I'm starting to get to that age where I feel like we blink, bro, and it's been a week. And then you blink again, it's been a month, and now you ain't talked to your boy in 6 months.
Yep.
But I think the problem is with the social media now. You see them.
Yep.
So in your mind, you're like,
with the
oh,
like.
yeah,
With
you
the
hit
like.
with the like. They see the name, like, my boy.
Yeah.
But it's not checking in on somebody.
Yep.
I think there needs to be more of that, for sure.
That's so funny. I was just talking
My dad on the phone today.
I was like,
Dude, I feel like I had no time in the day.
at all.
We were talking about that on the way
No
back.
time
You're
in the
right,
day at all. Like, I feel like I map out. I'm very good about, like, at the start of the week, writing out what I got to do this week.
Yeah.
And at the end of the week, I'm like, I feel like I didn't even get anything done.
Yeah.
But that's just life, right?
That's how you
That
manage
is
it.
just life, bro.
So,
Well, I appreciate you being on the pod, brother.
of course. Yes, sir. Got you, man. Thanks for having me.